Well, I can't hear a thing. Hello. Hello. Hey, Mike Wagner's on. Hey, Mike. What's happening, buddy? Yeah, let's see here. Just waiting for the show to start. I have no idea if it started yet. Yeah, yeah, I know. Good stuff. I think we're going. I'm still waiting to hear. Lee? Sure. Okay. You know, it only happens on my show. They have 70 programs that they run at thepowerofvoices.com. And it just so happens when I come in, when I come in and I'm on the air and on our social media TV network and our global radio network, thepowerofvoices.com and whatnot, there's always something that just goes crazy. I don't know why that is. It happens to nobody else. Really, nobody else. The light stops working. You get feedback through the microphone. I mean, crazy people run in the background. It is the most amazing thing that happens. And I have no idea right now whether or not Lee can hear me. What you should do is, text me, Lee. Oh, okay, you did? All right. I know we're getting some, I'm getting some weird kind of feedback through here. Maybe that's a little bit better. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Well, look at it. Okay, now I'm hearing something. Now that's really weird. Why in the world am I hearing something? So maybe I should just put this volume down there. And that way then I don't hear myself coming back that way. Oh, now he's just driving me crazy. That's it. I'm taking these out. Yes, you're seeing technical prowess at its most heightened level. Can you imagine us running a moonshot or a Mars shot out of NASA? I mean, he would probably have me slingshotting around Jupiter if he was the NASA engineer. Okay, all right. Wait a second. What are you doing to me, brother? Okay, well, I guess I'm on. All right. Okay, hey, we're gonna have some fun right now. Joe Kovacic is checking in with us. I hear you just fine. Marina Morel is checking in, and also Kwak Wah Wong, Kwak Wah Wong, Kwak Wah Wong, Kwak Wah Wong, Kwak Wah Wong. I've got to go back to Hong Kong because last time I was in Hong Kong, all these Chinese names, they were spectacular. Like this guy's name, I love his name, Kwak Wah Wong, Kwak Wah Wong. I mean, it is a great exercise on the Western European, Western United States American tongue and jaw and muscles. It makes your this part of your face do all kinds of things like Kwak Wah Wong, Kwak Wah Wong, Wong Chong Leong, Yip Man, right? Right? It just makes you do it's amazing. I tell you, if you ever want to learn how to do diction and articulation correctly, you need to go and hang out in Hong Kong for a couple of weeks, because your muscles will get so strong in here. It's phenomenal. All right, so we're talking. Normally I have a guest on Wednesday, but my guest checked in with me last night and said that she was terribly under the weather, and we hope that she gets better. Lorraine Landon was going to be checking in, but she called up and said she's not feeling well, and I certainly know what that was like. I missed the whole Oscars weekend last weekend because I had this running bloody nose. I mean, it's like it wouldn't stop for 3.5, almost 4 days. So I totally can relate to the fact that she wasn't feeling under the weather. So rather than to hustle around and bring up somebody, from the bullpen, I thought, well, I'll just go out here and I'll just talk some crazy, silly stuff that I haven't done in a while. And I might as well take the opportunity here and be able to just chit-chat a little bit with you guys, okay? So that's what I'm doing. And so we're going to talk about, well, there's a couple of things, of course, we need to talk about if you've been following the news today at all. And, oh, yes, first up, it's time for the Jesse T Show. Yes, we are broadcasting on the air and everywhere from the community to the world. Good to have you along with us. This is me, Jesse T, and I'm from an undisclosed location in one of the many Jesse T bunkers, yes, deep underground of God's blue-green earth, in the bowels of Mother Earth, protecting the world from me. Or maybe I should say protecting me from the world. Anyhow, it's good to be back with you. We're broadcasting live on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, as well as our YouTube channel, YouTube Jesse Terrero, and we want you to hook up on the free membership and the free subscribership as well, so you can watch all the podcasts. We've got about 1,000 shows on there, and everybody, some terrific stars, athletes, politicians, Crazy Dan the Man, Lee Baby Michaels. I mean, everybody, we just kind of bring everybody in and have a great time for an hour. So you want to check that out and go back. There's a lot of cool, funny times and a lot of interesting information. And that's at YouTube, Jesse Terrero. Subscriber is free, and the membership is free. So you can check in there and check things out. All right. Also, we are broadcasting on Instagram Live at Instagram, Jesse Terrero. And we bridge out to Twitter and LinkedIn and all the top sites, about 20 of them, and through the social media stratosphere, as well as on www.thepowervoices.com. So now that we got that business out of the way, of course, the show is always brought to you by Win-Win-Win Real Estate Loans and Notary Firm. And if you want to check out on how to buy a house with little to no money down, or refinance a loan, or sell a property with a guarantee of sale, you might want to check them out at MrSoldJesseT.com, or BuyJesseT.com, or SellerJesseT.com. Yes, I sponsor my own show. Isn't that amazing how that works out? But that's what it's all about anyhow, right? And so you also can check us out at Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. There are 3 really good properties. We've got a couple of foreclosures that we're marketing. We've got a gold mine right here in the Los Angeles County, San Fernando Valley area that we are marketing. You actually can pull gold off this property. It's 20 plus acres. Cecil B. DeMille originally owned it, and this is where he got all his wealth from the gold he pulled off this whole canyon that he owned, probably a couple 100 acres in there at one time, and he actually pulled off gold nuggets literally on the ground. And that's how he funded a lot of his early projects, the great producer Cecil B. DeMille. So we've got that for sale, and I've got a terrific property out in Harbor City, about 10 minutes from the beautiful blue Pacific Ocean, Redondo Beach, El Segundo, Manhattan, Hermosa, all these great places in Harbor City. And it's terrific because it's a really great starter condo. And you can move right in. It's an end unit, lots of sunshine, hardwood floors, brand new kitchen, bathrooms, huge master bedroom. It's a 1 bedroom, 1 bath, secured, 24-hour security, cameras, park your car in a secured gated area underground. It is a terrific place, and you can get into that, and probably for what you're paying for the cost of your rent, because rents are so high in LA County. So we can get you in there for as little as 5% down. So that's a terrific property, about 10 minutes from the ocean near Palos Verdes. And Palos Verdes and Upper San Pedro and Long Beach are just exploding in redevelopment. And the area over there is changing. The backside of Palos Verdes, of course, you have, Kobe Bryant living on the front side of Palos Verdes, but it is really an area that is just so cool to be around. So we've got that property for sale too as well. All right, so let's begin and talk a little bit about what we got going on today. Well, of course, President Trump is on the precipice of doing something that no president has been able to do since Ronald Reagan, and that is negotiate a agreement to denuclearize a whole part of this world. He is on the edge of being able to create an agreement that just 5 years ago, 10 years ago, nobody ever thought could happen. And that, of course, is the denuclearization of North Korea and the unification of South Korea and the whole Pacific Rim and area over there. Japan as not being targeted. The Philippines aren't being targeted. Vietnam is involved here, and even China. It's unbelievable what he is about. This is historic events right here that are happening right now in Vietnam. Just to be in Hanoi, where we fought a almost 20-year war, and the French fought 10 years before us, is just a mind blower to me, because I was about to have to serve in the Vietnam War. 1973 was rolling around, and at 18 you had to register, and that was only 5 years away, and there was no end in sight. Then Nixon got us out of there. But the point is, we're back, and Vietnam still is a communist nation, but it's amazing that we are back in Vietnam, of all things. Hanoi. I mean, that's where the helicopters were pulling people off the top of the embassy. Those historic videos that you see, it's unbelievable. And of course, the Hanoi Hilton, the prison there, which kept so many of our aircraft, Air Force pilots and Navy pilots there. It's amazing that we're back there. And the President of the United States is in Vietnam with the leader of North Korea and the leader of South Korea, and they're about ready to sign an agreement here to totally denuclearize that part of the world. Unprecedented. Unbelievable. You talk about the art of the deal, man. The guy, you can't take it away from President Trump. I watched that documentary last night about his grandfather who came from Germany, and his father and he and his brothers and his sisters. Pretty amazing, the work ethic and the deal making that whole family has done since 1895, when they first came here to America. Well, actually 1885, his grandfather came here from Germany. And so it's just an amazing thing that's taking place over there. It totally is lowering the nuclear possibility. And that's really what China wants. Russia wants that. North and South Korea don't want to be blown off the face of the earth. Japan doesn't want that. Vietnam doesn't want that. Thailand, Taiwan, the Philippines, the Hawaiian Islands, and we don't want that. Neither does India. And it's happening, and it's all because of President Trump. It's just that simple. However, he was able to get the leader of North Korea, however he was able to get him to understand that he could have so much more than what he has now in terms of his ability to create good things in his nation. He's a young man. He got it. And they're going to sign an agreement. Maybe not this time, but they're getting closer and closer. There should be so much great news about that. But no, the only news that seems to be on MSNBC and CNN and Fox and all the channels is this whiny, crybaby, mimi mouth, backstabbing, low-life, ambulance-chasing lawyer. Now, Cohen. Now, look at, there is something called client-attorney privilege. You are supposed to, when you hire an attorney, you are supposed to be able to discuss things with your attorney that you wouldn't even discuss with your children, your wife, your parents, or anybody. Maybe God. Okay? And you're supposed to, they are supposed to hold that with the utmost sanctity. It's like a vault. If you can't have that as a citizen with your attorney, then what good is an attorney? Seriously. If you can't discuss openly about things of great importance to you in your life that you want nobody to know, then what good is having client-attorney privilege? There isn't any good. It's worthless. That Cohen has done so much to destroy the trust and confidence that everyday Americans have in lawyers and destroy the legal system at the very basics of what law and representation are supposed to be. It's unbelievable. Who can you trust? Who can you have an open conversation with? You can't. I don't care whether you're the fixer, he's the fixer, they're the fixer. It doesn't matter any difference. If you are a lawyer, you have an obligation. It's just that simple. And when you don't live up to that obligation, you are no better than a rat. That's what you are, a rat. I watched pretty much all of that today while I had a couple of loans to do, process. I've got a new sale coming down line here. I'm dealing with a counter offer right now. So I've been in the office all day. And I pretty much have had that in the background watching it. And all it was, and reminded me, and Joe Kovacic, a good friend of mine going way back to our high school days at Poly High School in Sun Valley, it reminded me of what we used to call the Polygon in Sun Valley at Poly High School, where everybody would come at lunchtime and all the little girls would be going, da, 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 ooh, do, 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 and the guys would be going, do, 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 do. Everybody's talking about everybody. Everybody's telling everybody's sick. It reminded me of high school crap. You know? It reminded me of a guy who just had a chip on his shoulder, that he wasn't asked to be part of the White House staff. And they said that he said, oh, I never wanted to be pleased. Come on. I mean, anybody in their right mind, a young man like that, he's only in his, maybe mid to late 40s, early 50s at the very oldest. He doesn't want to be part of the White House staff. The White House, you're talking to the president, and he was the president's go-to attorney for 10 years. And all the dirt he can come up with is how rotten, how racist, how disgusting, how horrible President Trump is. And nothing criminal. Nothing criminal. The Mueller investigation is going to come back with absolutely nothing in it, because if it did, it would be out already. Almost 3 years now. And all they can come up with is, did you see the video? Was there a video of President Trump being urinated on by a Russian prostitute? Is that the best? Did President Trump beat Melania up in an elevator? Is that what it's come down to? You're talking about you're talking about attorneys. You're talking about smart people supposedly sitting there on this congressional panel that And that's all they can come up with? When all this guy has done is just slandered him, the president, and everything was before the presidency. Nothing after the presidency. See, that's the amazing thing. It's all hearsay, his word. And what blows me away is that, and this is a basic in anything that you do, whether you own a company or you have friends or what have you, whether you are a businessman or you work for somebody, there's three things you have to have when you engage with other people. One, you have to have loyalty. Okay? Two, you have to have honesty and honor. And three, you have to have some sort of, or create some sort of communication process of rapport and confidence. Well, he just threw all that out the door. And when you are a condemned liar, when you have lied and you are going to jail, prison, not jail, prison for it, and you are a liar, judged a liar, and you are going to go to prison for it, once a liar, always a liar. That's just a basic thing. When human beings get together, once they start lying to each other, they are liars forever. A cheat and a liar he is. You can't tell me that he didn't make any money. You can't tell me he didn't like the power. You can't tell me that he didn't think he was extra special. He is a liar. That's what he's done. He's a condemned, he was tried by his peers, and he is a liar. And he's going to prison for it. So now this congressional panel brings the best witness they can, a liar who's going to jail on May 6th, prison, to talk about President Trump and call him a liar and a cheat and a racist. And one of the panel members, the congressional panel members, brought up the person that Cohen said bad things, that President Trump was racist, the head of HUD, and she's an African-American woman, a black woman, brought her up, and she said she didn't say anything like that. Right there. This guy is just looking out for himself. It's all it is. It's so obvious. Look at President Trump, as a businessman Trump, as number one, they used to call him in his organization. He's a businessman. Simple and sweet. Do you think the head of Ford Motor Company, do you think the head of Rocketdyne, do you think the head of Boeing Aircraft, do you think the head of Apple, Steve Jobs, do you think the head of General Electric, do you think the head of Microsoft, do you think these are nice people? That these people are ruthless people? Well, what fantasy world are you living in if you think that these people are like sheep? They are not. They play the game to win. They're ruthless. You understand me? As ruthless as these lying professional politicians are, they are ruthless as well. They are so ruthless to keep their positions that they will do anything, say anything about themselves, about their children, about their families, to keep their positions. And why? Because they want the power and control. And everything that President Trump, and Cohen said it. He said it right there. His business dealings stopped when he became president. When he swore it, everything stopped. It's amazing. And all they can bring up is a liar that points the finger and slanders himself. You know what's going to happen? If it hasn't happened already, he's slandered himself so bad to the president, he's going to get a civil lawsuit while he's in jail, while he's in prison. Watch. He just opened himself up to more accusations. Those two old guys sitting behind him, those two attorneys sitting behind him, the stone-faced guys, if you watch that, Lenny Davis, he is a Clinton operative. Right. Why in the world would he allow his client to go up there and make a fool out of himself? Seriously. I mean, they even asked him, look will you say now that you will never have a book deal? You'll never have a movie deal. You'll never earn money after you get out of prison because of this. Think about that. And Cohen said, oh, no, I can't say I'll do that. You know, he's going to get out of prison in 3 years, folks. And he's going to have a $100 million film deal and book deal and talk deal. He's going to get put on CNN. He's going to live a great life out of prison. Don't feel sorry for this guy. No, 3 years. They disbarred him yesterday or this morning. How can you trust a disbarred lawyer? He lied. Simple. Okay, so that whole thing that you saw today, that you'll probably stay up tonight watching, was just a little whiny crybaby looking to better his position so that when he gets out of prison, he can become worth $100 million. And it was all crafted by Lenny Davis. He even said he didn't want to do this. And Lenny Davis, his attorney, said, you have to do this. Why? The future. He said, oh, I'm not paying Lenny Davis any money. Of course he's not, because Lenny Davis is going to get a piece of that action in the future. You think these attorneys are honest people, folks? Really? You think there's any honesty in them at all? If you do, you haven't dealt with the legal system and lawyers that much. They're the most scrounging around rat finks that scrounge around in the sewers and the gutters of people's lives to earn a living. Simple. We all need a gunslinger every now and then to be able to do that for us. They're a needed piece of our society, but they are not the type of people that we are raised to believe, to think they are. And he is a disbarred attorney. 10 years with President Trump as businessman Trump, and all he can come up with is hearsay evidence, his lying words. Ridiculous. So we should be talking about the great thing that's happening in Vietnam. That's what we should be talking about. That's all I'm going to say about that. I hope Cohen rots in prison and he gets everything that he should get coming to him in prison, whatever that may be. This guy blew the most sanctity, the most personal thing between a lawyer and a client, and that's that privilege, that confidentiality privilege. How can you trust anybody now? You can't even trust someone you've known for 10 years. He's a traitor. He's a turncoat to his profession, not to Donald Trump, to his own profession. He's a traitor. He's lied on his own personal tax returns for gains. He's lied on his own personal financial reports for gains. He's lied on paperwork filed for gains. There is so much evidence against him, and he's pointing the finger at Donald Trump, and all they can come up with is this sewer rat, high school, cheating, backstabbing, mimi mouth in the shadow talking. Really? I don't really care. Why don't we look and see what has happened? The greatest stock market, both on the Dow and NASDAQ. Companies making money, hiring people. People paying off their debts. Bankruptcies at an all-time low. African Americans, employment at an all-time high. Latinos, all-time high. White folks, all-time high. People dropping off the EBT welfare system. No one's bombing our nation right now, trying to protect against these evil, cartels. These evil, evil people who don't care about your cities with the drugs and the weapons and the destruction. Building our military up. Making the international players, countries pay their way in Europe. Why should we foot the whole bill for them? I mean, let's look at the big things and the good things that he's done. It blows my mind. You know, people talk about him racist. Nobody can show any racism he's ever done. Even folks who are African American have come out of every part of that social economic structure within the niche of that social economic structure, okay? And said, this guy's done more for us than anybody, ever. People just don't like him. They just hate him. That's it. Hey, it's okay. I don't like pit bulls. I hate them. They're dogs. I love dogs. I just don't like pit bulls. I get it. But the guy's done a lot of great stuff for this nation. And I'm telling you folks right now, and you think I'm crazy. You really do. When I talk about these global elitists, you think that I'm a nut. You think that I'm some conspiratory guy, and I'm not. If you could have heard the stuff I was talking about 30, 20, 30, 40 years ago, almost all of it has come true. It's pretty amazing. It blows my mind. Okay? Donald Trump, President Trump, is the last president of the United States of America that will ever go up against the powerful global elitists. That's why they don't like him. That's why the corporations don't like him. This is why the banks don't like him. This is why the insurance companies don't like him. This is why the Vatican doesn't like him. This is why the monarchy doesn't like him. This is why people don't, the politicians don't like him. He's upsetting the apple cart because he doesn't need them. I don't really care whether he's worth 10 billion, excuse me, or 10 million or $10. Look at the stuff he's done. There's a laundry list of so much. And I've done whole shows on this, but you won't listen. Nobody will. Because either you like the man or you don't. And hey, you don't like him. That's okay. But I'll tell you what, for a guy that half of America doesn't like, all of America is reaping some pretty good rewards from him. That's for sure. In that respect. But it's funny. When he's gone, 2024, or maybe some of you are wishing and dreaming and fantasizing every night, 2020, when he's gone, watch what's going to happen. Just watch. And the stinky Republicans and the demon crazy Democrats, it doesn't make any difference. Watch. The professional politicians who are bought and paid for since the Civil War by those entities that I just said are going to rape you and rape America. And we're going to go back to what we had between Reagan and Trump. And if you think that was really great, oh, you must love the subprime blow-up of 2008. Oh, you must love the World Trade Towers dropping in New York City and the Pentagon. Oh, you must love the trillions of dollars we've spent in the Middle East and the boys and girls that have died. For what? For the Bushies? That scumbag dynasty evil family? Oh, you must love the philandering president called Bill Clinton and his secret jet to the perverted island of the billionaire who's sitting in jail for human trafficking and the raping of little boys and girls. Oh, you must love old man Bush and the conniving deals that he made. You just must love bend over Obamas. Oh yeah. What hope and change did he bring to you? What did he do for you? I think all he did was create civil unrest. But that's what he's put there for, because they were all bought and paid by the power brokers and the money that put him there. When it cost $1 billion to become president, only a billionaire can afford it. And there aren't too many billionaires that want to be president. Think about that. You see, when he's gone, mark my words, you're going to come back and you're going to say, wow. Wow. Yep. Because we're headed as a population in the planet Earth, we're headed towards a one world government. The coming generations, the last 2.5 generations, have been conditioned to start focusing on that. They're going to do it by creating a one world economy, monetary system. That's how they're going to do it, and that's how they are doing it. They're going to do it by creating a one world religion, or at least as best as they can. The Catholics and the Muslims are kissing each other on the lips. The Pope, which I call the poop, and the Imam, which I call the demon, right? They're kissing each other on the lips. Didn't you see that picture? One world religion is coming. And once you have a one world economy and a one world religion, you will have a one world government. And you know, the babies being born today, right now, if they live, because the Democrats voted in New York to kill babies that are coming down the birth channel, to smash their heads open, suck their brains out, chop their bodies up, dismember their arms and legs, and yank them out of the womb, and then scrape the inside of the woman clean of all the debris at 8 months. That's murder. 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 Simple. And they're coming. I'm telling you. Our society has fallen to the point that people are accepting this, accepting the $93 trillion commie plan to destroy this country of, I call her, the buck-tooth mama, right? Big tooth, bug-eyed, AOC. Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. That's what I call her. Oh, yeah. $93 trillion Green Deal. Every building's going to be repaired in America. We're going to have to learn how to walk on water because they want to get rid of the planes. And now they don't even want you to get married. Maybe you shouldn't have any children. Well, they're killing them out, coming out the birth control, coming out the birth channel. I don't know. You tell me. Tell me. How could that be? How could that be? How come the Catholic Church and the demon and the poop can't get together and say, you know, beating women and children up in your religion and raping women and children in your religion is something that really we shouldn't be doing? Go figure. No. You tell me how a guy can walk at the Academy Awards with a tuxedo dress on and everybody thinks that's okay. You tell me how us as a public, how we as a people in this nation think that a dude walking in a dress that looked straight out of, Scarlet, I don't give a damn, right? With a tuxedo top, a guy, that's okay. You tell me that a racist director like Spike Lee gets an Academy Award, and that's okay. But yet, he butters up to Trump in photos everywhere, kissing his white ass for money. Hypocrisy. Unbelievable. Unfathomable. We've degraded ourselves to a society of retards and rejects. You tell me that how can they allow parents to raise their children without a gender? They're called they babies. You tell me that that's okay? That that's acceptable? You tell me that that's all right? They babies? A little boy has a penis and a little girl has a vagina. She's a female and he's a male. They aren't they babies. They grow up to be men and they grow up to be women and then they procreate so that there's more of us. Tell me where we have gone wrong. Well, I can tell you. 1960s. That's where it started. The pimple started coming out of the skin in the 1960s. It had already been planted after the Civil War. You tell me how African American people can honestly say that the Democratic Party, the demon-crazy Democratic Party, is their party when they were the ones that created the KKK, when they were the ones that created welfare, when they were the ones that tried to kill in the venereal disease stuff they used to shoot into the women in the South, when they were the ones. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. was a friggin' Republican. Did you know that? Yeah. Does anybody not read? Does anybody not think anymore? No, they don't. They don't think anymore. Hey, Lee, back at the studio, you know, I know we're off at 6 o'clock here, but I'm going to keep going here locally on my system here. Because I got more to say, and I'm going to keep going. So, you know, at 6, it's 5:59 right now. You can take me out anytime you want, because I'm just going to keep going. So, all right. So just take me out whenever you want, brother. And I'm just going to keep going. So, you know, the bottom line is, I mean, you tell me, what is so bad? What is so bad about protecting our nation? A wall is not the get all. I mean, any dimwit can figure that one out. Any numbskull can figure, no matter how tall the wall is, it's not as high as a plane flies. Okay. And it's not as deep as the molten lava down in the bowels of God's blue-green earth. Okay. But it is part. If that's not true, if electronics, surveillance, border patrol agents, on horses, on mules, in vehicles, planes, drones, cameras, sound devices, snitches, underground sonar, all of these things, and more people guarding our border. If a wall doesn't work, then how come when you drive to Beverly Hills, or you drive to Palos Verdes, or you drive to Brentwood, or you drive to any major city in America where the super elite and wealthy live, how come they have 30-foot walls? They got all that other electronic stuff, and they got the full security team because they can afford it. But they also have walls. Now, where does the logic get deleted here? Oh, I know where it gets deleted. I got it. I get it. Allow people who are dumb and stupid and uneducated from other nations to careen across our border and then indoctrinate them into the demon crazy party, thereby controlling power and control forever. Give them everything they want. Give them the new Green Deal, and we can socialize them into a commie state. They don't know any different in their country. Tell me where it changes. Oh, because maybe the guy who has the ranch on the border, or the guy who lives in Tulsa, or the guy who lives in Abilene, or the guy and gal who live in Phoenix, or the guy or gal who lives in Scottsdale, or the guy or gal who lives in San Ysidro, or the guy or gal who lives in Brownsville, Texas, or the guy or gal that lives in San Antonio, or any one of those areas, right? They're not as important as I am, because I am a politician. I am. Hell, they should have a mountain in their backyard they should climb every day and act like frickin' Moses when Moses says, what do I call you? And Yahweh say, I am. Therefore I am. Wait a minute. Isn't that how the Jewish religion started? Something like that? And didn't Muhammad go to a mountain in a cave and he got this spiritual epiphany happen to him? What happens? What happens, Joan? What happens, Joel? What happens to people, Joe? What happens to people, Marina? What happens to people, Kwak Wah Wong? What happens to people, Mike Wagner? What happens? And so many others that watch the Jesse T Show. For those of you who are still watching on the poweredvoices.com on our network, we're still going at KTNT, Radio and TV Network, over here on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero and Instagram Live. So you're welcome to come on over there because I got some more to say. And for those of you who have, because we're about ready to shut down, the next show's coming in on the network, but I'm going to stay on for probably another 15 or 20 minutes because I'm leading up to something here. All right. But nevertheless, it's good to have you along. And we've got some great things happening this year on the Jesse T Show, and we want you to be a part of it, okay? So you be a part of it in any way you can. Share it out. Go to our subscriber and membership page at YouTube, Jesse Terrero, and join us because together we can have a lot more fun. Right? Okay. All right, Lee. Thanks a lot, brother. I'm gonna bang out on you right now and go on over here because I believe we're out of time. Keep rolling. What do I got? How much time? Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. So, I mean, where does the hypocrisy start, or where does the hypocrisy stop? I don't know. It seems like it stops at a person's billfold, their dollars, you know. Hypocrisy seems to take over when people get really wealthy and have power. I think it's the power thing that makes people become hypocrites, because they can't be touched and harmed in any way. See, wealth, you can lose wealth. You can lose monetary and currency. But once you have power and control, that's very hard. That has to be actually given up or taken away from you. And that's hard to do. Okay? So, you know, that's kind of where it kind of transitions. See, we should be talking about really great things that's happening in our country today. We feed the world. Our food feeds the world. Okay? We are the #1 oil producing nation on God's blue-green earth. Again, the first time in 50 years? I remember when we were 50 years ago. I was 8. Okay? We have the best medical system on the earth. This is why everybody comes to us. All right? We have a system by which you, no matter what level you are born into, whether you're eating out of trash cans in the slums of the worst cities in America, it's better than living in El Salvador or communist Russia or China. And you have the ability to become anything that you want. You just have to have the desire to do it. And you have to have the willingness to work for it. That's what our nation was based on. It wasn't based on handouts. That was Lyndon B. Johnson who created welfare. And he hated black people. Did you know that? He hated black people. He is the most racist president that we've ever had in the history of modern presidents in the United States of America. This is well documented, Darlene. Just joined us. Lyndon B. Johnson was horrific. And Nixon wasn't too far off. And those are both opposite parties. It was LBJ who created the Great Society, that big-toothed, bug-eyed, AOC, talks about, saying the Great Society was great. Oh, yeah? Welfare is great? Really? You and I ought to spend a day together and go to some of the apartments that I own that I've had to kick out welfare people because they've totally destroyed them. They don't care. When you get something for nothing, you don't care. When it's not yours, you don't care. When you don't have to pay for it, you don't care. Or fix it, you don't care. The idea that you can come to this country and the idea that you can become whatever you want to become by working hard and failing and getting up and failing and getting up and failing and getting up and succeeding until you succeed. And if you fail, then again, get up and succeed again. That idea is the idea that inspires creativity, inspires imagination, inspires some of the greatest things we have ever created for the planet Earth. And they've all come out of this great nation. That's simple. Nobody has done for the world what America has done for the world. Nobody. Period. And nobody ever will. Let's talk about our great military. The greatest and most powerful military and technologically advanced over every other military might on planet Earth. This is why we haven't been attacked and overthrown. Do you think we haven't been attacked and overthrown in our existence since the Revolutionary War because people respect us on the planet Earth? Because other countries? No, they fear us. But that has afforded you and me and everybody before us the opportunity, and for those that come after us, I hope, the opportunity to live in this kind of world we live in America with the quality of life that we have. It blows my mind how people really don't believe this country is great. Donald Trump does. And I think that's what resonates really most at the basic ethereal level in people that voted for him. At least it did for me, is that finally somebody has come around and is speaking honestly and straight talking how great this nation is and can be and will become again. And what's so wrong with that? So the corporation gets a tax break and you get a job at $45 an hour. And they hire 3 million more people in 2 years, or whatever the great numbers are. What's wrong with that? So Amazon and Jeff Bezos pays no corporate taxes, but they don't talk about his personal taxes. And you know why they don't talk about his personal taxes? Because that is none of your business. A corporation is public. A man that makes his money or a woman that makes his money is private. You don't get to see my taxes. Jeff Bezos, they say he's worth $1 trillion. No, Amazon is worth $1 trillion. Jeff Bezos worth $100 billion. When they talk about Jeff Bezos doesn't pay any taxes, they're talking about Amazon doesn't pay any taxes. Well, I don't really care whether Amazon pays taxes or not. Jeff Bezos pays taxes, and I don't care how much taxes he pays or he doesn't pay. You know what I care about? I care about how many people Amazon is employing at $30 to $40 to $45 an hour so that they can raise their children to maybe be the next Jeff Bezos. Of course, big tooth, bug-eyed, Aok didn't care about that. And the white posse in Congress didn't care about that. And do you not see the hypocrisy right there? If you hate racism and you're a black person, why are you wearing white clothes? I laughed. I said, my God, if you're true hardcore, you don't wear a white dress and white pantsuit because you don't like people who've repressed you. You don't drive a white car. You don't paint your house white. Oh, maybe you do. Hell, I'd wear black, brown, purple, green, polka dots. People don't think. And that's part of the issue. We're not thinking anymore as a country. We're not thinking anymore as a people. We're thinking individuality. And that started in my generation in the 1960s. That me, myself, and I, greedy, selfish ideology. And this is the result of it. We have a society that actually hates each other in our society. I mean, this is something that people actually are fighting each other just because of the color of their skin. Now go figure that one. How does that happen? Why do you hate somebody because of the color of your skin? You know why? Because you've been conditioned from birth. And why is that? Because if you break up a society's at the social level, the socioeconomic level, you can control them forever. Control them forever. It's a sad, sad, sad situation. That the only thing that the demon crazy Democrats could do was put up a habitual, condemned liar who's going to prison to call President Trump a bunch of bad names. Yet President Trump is over there in Vietnam meeting right now with the North Korean leader, right now, as we speak, and the South Korean leader, to denuclearize that part of the world. How great that is. How special that is. And nobody has been able to do that since him. It was Reagan who took down the evil empire. And it's President Trump who's bringing peace to a part of the world that hasn't seen it in my whole lifetime. And what's so bad about that? I could talk for hours and hours and hours, but I really wanted to talk about the few things I've spoke about today, because our nation is at a corner. We're either going to go straight, back, left, or right. And where we go as a nation and a people today is going to affect us for the next 10, 25, 50, and 100 years. America will always be here. It will never go away on the map. But the real question is, what kind of America do you want to live in? What kind of America do you want your children to live in, and your children's children, and your children's children's children? That's only an answer that you can come up with, but I'll tell you this much. I want an America that respects God, that respects family, that respects our police, that respects our military, that respects our flag, our national anthem, that respects our Americanism, which is all but lost, that respects a quality education of thinking. I want an America where there is no homeless. I want an America where there are no sanctuary cities where they get everything. I want an America where the drug addicts and the drug pushers and the drug users and the drug creators are all put in jail. And especially the ones that create this mess. I want America that the world understands that we still are the shining city on the hilltop. I don't care what color America is. It makes no difference to me. People are hung up on color and racism today. The racist agenda. Unbelievable. That's what's important. Why don't you feed your family? Why don't you go out and get a great job? Why don't you do something special in your life? Because it's the right thing to do. If we don't make the right choices now, folks, the choices are going to be made. They're going to be made, Barry Burnett, Mark Hoadley. They're going to be made, Andrew Finelli.
They're going to be made, Eric Danny Salas. They're going to be made, whether you make them or not. In my opinion, you and me and us should be making the choices. Thank God for President Trump. Thank God he doesn't need anybody's money. He's working for free. Did you know that? And if he comes out and he's worth $100 billion 5 years after his presidency, I don't care. Because he has corrected so much wrong in just 2 years. It is mind-boggling. Just absolutely mind-boggling. The Jesse T Show. 5 to 6. On KTNT, Radio and TV Network. The Jesse T soldiers are growing left and right. And we want you to be a part of it. Go to our websites at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. Check out Straight on the Point. I got 2 websites there. I post up a lot of stuff. Mark Hoadley, baby. What's happening? Sifu Mark Hoadley. Man, you got to open up those emails, brother. I sent you a lot of good things to be looking at. I love you, man. Just love you. Great. Yeah, don't you love the personal messages I use on my network? Oh, Lord help me. I'm going to call it a day. I got to get going. I got to go train. It's 6:30 on the West Coast in Southern California. We'll be back at you here tomorrow. We'll be running something. We run something every day at 5 o'clock. Sometimes it's not a whole show now. Sometimes it's a little piece of the show. You know, maybe 15, 20 minutes. But we're getting busy selling real estate, doing loans, and a lot of notaries right now. And so we want to help you out. I'd love to help better your life and help you make those right decisions, all right? Hey, the Jesse T Show is always on the air and everywhere in Southern California and across this great nation we call America the Beautiful. And is it so beautiful? What a great nation we live in, and how fortunate we are to be able to be part of this grand experiment that has not stopped. And if I have anything to do with it, will never stop. It's really a simple combination for me. Jesse T. Doesn't take much for me to realize where we need to go. What's right and what's wrong does not change. And you and I have an obligation to right the wrongs that others don't realize they're doing. That's what we do. We have an obligation to right the wrongs that others don't even realize they're doing. It's unfortunate for them. We need to make this country better for everybody and understand that President Trump, be what you may think of him, he's doing a darn good job.
How do you feel the power of the kingdom?
You have a great one, my friends. I don't often get an opportunity now to speak my words, but I had to speak some words today.
How do you feel the power of
The Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday, right here at 5 o'clock. every day of the week. Good to have you along with me, and it's good to have you along with everybody else watching. Thanking Mark Halvey for having us on, Eric, Denny, Salas, also Andrew Vanelli, and Barry Burnett, Joel Dana Harmon, just to name a few, Joanne Hangarter, Joe Kovacic, Big Country Boy Joe, Marina Morell, Mike Wagner, and so many others that have us on today. Thank you very much. Time to go hit the gym and do a 4-mile run. That's right. Getting back in shape. That's what it's all about. Hey, you have a great day, great night. This is Jesse T. I can't help but being me. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya!